Every October, cities across America shut down their streets for parades and national holidays, celebrating the enduring legacy of the explorer Christopher Columbus. For generations, towering bronze monuments and standard grade school textbooks have reinforced his image as a bold, genius visionary who braved the unknown. But professional historians have known for decades that the textbook narrative is largely fiction. We do not need to rely on modern opinions to prove it. We can simply read Columbus's own surviving letters and royal documents. Bypassing the historical spin and looking directly at that evidentiary paper trail reveals the brutal reality of his expeditions. Let's open Exhibit A, his navigation logs. Columbus believed that sailing west from Europe directly to Asia would be a quick, manageable trip. This animated diagram compares the actual circumference of the Earth to Columbus's mathematical model. Relying on outdated texts and faulty unit conversions, he severely miscalculated the math, which drastically shrank the globe and the size of the ocean he had to cross. With the real distance applied here, his 3 ships couldn't carry enough food and water to make it even halfway to his projected destination. They were mathematically doomed to starve in the open Atlantic. He did not execute a brilliant navigational strategy. He blundered into a massive, unmapped continent that happened to sit right in the middle of his fatal error. His foundational reputation as a visionary explorer rests heavily on a colossal geographic mistake masked by sheer luck. Exhibit B takes us to his arrival. This historical illustration shows how the landing is usually depicted, but Columbus's own journal from that exact day paints a much darker picture of his intentions. Within his first 48 hours of meeting the indigenous population, he specifically recorded that they carried no iron and lacked advanced weaponry. He immediately noted how easily they could be conquered, writing to the Spanish crown that with just 50 men he could subjugate the entire population and make them do whatever he wanted. From day one, his primary goal was calculated exploitation. That brings us to Exhibit C, a formal investigation compiled in the year 1500 by Francisco de Bobadilla, assessing Columbus's tenure as governor of Hispaniola. Bobadilla documented a brutal economic system. Columbus imposed strict gold collection quotas on the indigenous people, demanding amounts that were physically impossible to mine in the region. To enforce these impossible quotas, he authorized gruesome physical punishments. Those who failed to deliver enough gold, measured by a small token called a hawk spell, faced severe mutilations, including having their hands cut off. This extreme violence and systemic mismanagement eventually horrified even the Spanish monarchy, turning their once celebrated explorer into a political liability. By royal decree, Columbus was stripped of his governing titles, removed from power, and dragged back to Europe in chains. He finished his political career as a convicted tyrant, deemed too brutal even by the standards of the 16th century Spanish Empire. If he died disgraced and stripped of his titles, we have to ask how he became the founding hero of American history. The answer lies in Exhibit D. In 1828, author Washington Irving published a highly romanticized, largely fictional biography of Columbus, framing him as an enlightened visionary. By the time of the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, political leaders weaponized Irving's fiction to build a unifying, patriotic origin story for a rapidly growing nation. This concerted public relations effort successfully buried the hard evidence of his tyranny under a highly marketable, sanitized fable. History is frequently written by those who inherit the printing presses centuries later. Demanding to see the primary sources is our best defense against historical propaganda.